Guru Nation, as we wrap up 2024, I did a long podcast with Darshan, and I'm writing an article for my LinkedIn, so go check it out. 2024 recap and 2025 outlook. And a couple of things stood out. I think what's going to continue, all the private equity firms that have been consolidating small to medium-sized clinics is going to increase in 2025, believe it or not. What that means for the industry is, for the smaller sites that remain independent, it's going to be harder to get studies, and you're going to have to learn how to be more adaptive when it comes to different therapeutic areas. I know here in Yuma, I've personally had to go beyond my internal medicine PI who I started with. I had to do derm, I had to do psych, I'm going to get into neuro. We just landed a nephrologist. Pulmonary, thankfully, has been super clutch for me this last 6 months, and it looks like 2025 is going to be a lot of respiratory and a lot of psych. And nephrology, and that's just me, like, as a small independent site, to try to compete, because these site networks, as they consolidate, not only are they going to consolidate some tech and maybe even start creating their own tech solutions, which I might get into real quick, but we go in depth in the podcast with Darshan and in the LinkedIn article. Links to both are underneath this video. But they have their own business development people that go out. They go to every conference. They have representative at every conference, wining and dining the sponsors. So it's just, for the smaller sites, it's going to get more challenging to get studies. So you're going to have to get adaptive. You're going to have to find your niche, your core competency, and then expand on your core competency. So just the way I tell people here, like employees on the channel, hey, become a generalist. You, as a site, you kind of need to become generalist too. Like, don't be that stubborn to just say, hey, you know what, we only do these kind of studies. Unless you found your niche and you think you are pretty set in that. But just to warn you, like, the site networks are coming out. Now, there's a lot of criticism around them as well. I've been starting to hear anecdotally from some CRAs that there's starting to be quality issues and things like that, but I'm just calling it how I see it. Now, as far as employment is concerned, the CRO model is basically done, like, as far as hiring anytime soon. The layoffs that they've been doing, now the CROs are buying back their own shares. There could be a time where they start hiring CRAs again, but it looks like for the time being, that's not going to be the case. And there's a lot of uncertainty with the new presidential regime that's taking over. So if you're a career seeker, I would say either look at becoming a contractor, if you have experience as a CRA, for example, because good quality CRAs are still and always will be in demand. But it's more for these junior level or more entry level people. You need to either look at the sites, or you need to look at the tech vendors, or you need to look at the sponsors. Now, and the site networks are becoming more like CROs. Now, one last thing about the tech vendors, which we go into great detail on the podcast with Darshan and in the article on LinkedIn, is AI. And with artificial intelligence, not only is it going to bring into question hiring practices and how many CRAs do you actually need per study, or how many support staff do you need for a CRA. For the tech vendors themselves, pretty soon the AI is going to be able to program solutions for sites. And at least as far as the technical capabilities, we're almost there. We're maybe 1 or 2 years away. Now, the regulatory capabilities of getting everything validated and things like that's going to take some time. But with enough lawyers like Darshan out there helping site networks, I think it can get done. So if you're a tech vendor, you need to look to either figure out your core competency, and it's going to be a race to the bottom as far as pricing is concerned. And I'm a tech co-founder myself with Patient Ace, and we are thinking about these kind of things as well. So just a few things to wrap up 2024 with and to look out for in 2025. Remember, what you may see as problems, initially perceive as problems, are opportunities. Like, subscribe, comment, share. Let me know what you think. Bye-bye.